At first, let's see what is waterfall development methodology. The waterfall model is a linear sequential approach to the software development life cycle that is popular in software engineering and product development. The waterfall model emphasizes a logical progression of steps similar to the direction water flows over the edge of a cliff. Distinct endpoints or goals are set for each phase of development and cannot be revisited after completion. Let's see the figure of the waterfall development methodology. Here are some steps in this methodology. The first step is requirements elicitation and analysis. The second one is design, then implementation, then testing, then deployment, and at last release and maintenance. The main theme of the waterfall development methodology is that after completing one stage fully, then we can move to the next stage. Without completing the previous stage completely, we cannot move to the next stage. The main drawback of this methodology is that in testing stage, if we can find any error of the previous stages, then we can solve the problem going backwards. So this is the main drawback of the waterfall development methodology. Let's see the advantages of waterfall model. It allows for departmentalization and managerial control. It is simple and easy to understand and use. It is easy to manage due to the rigidity of the model. Each phase has specific deliverables and a review process. Phases are processed and completed one at a time. It works well for smaller projects where requirements are very well understood. So these are the advantages of waterfall model. So let's see the disadvantages of waterfall model. Once an application is in the testing stage, it is very difficult to go back and change something that was not well thought out in the concept stage. No working software is produced until late during the life cycle. High amounts of risks and uncertainty. This is not a good model for complex and object-oriented projects. At last, it is a poor model for long and ongoing projects. Now, let's see the variants of waterfall development. So, there are two important variants of waterfall development. The first one is parallel development methodology, and the second one is V-model methodology. Now, I am going to discuss about the methodologies. So, let's see what is parallel development methodology. Parallel software development simply means that instead of following a strictly linear path for a project where coding is done chronologically, various parts of the project are simultaneously worked on. So, at any time, various versions of the project exist, having different phases and proceeding along different directions. They may merge again to form the final project. This approach saves time and quickens the process while requiring more resources. So let's see the diagram of parallel development, that how the parallel development is executed. The main theme of this development methodology is that various parts of the project are simultaneously worked on instead of following a strictly linear path for the project. That means in this methodology, a project is subdivided into some sub-projects. Then after working on those sub-projects parallelly at the same time, and after completing those sub-projects, we can integrate this project into a final system or into a final project. So this is the main theme, or this is the main scenario of the parallel development methodology. Let's see the advantages and disadvantages of parallel development methodology. The first advantage is time is reduced compared to the waterfall method, which decreases the chances that user needs will change before the system is implemented. The second one is phases are processed and completed one at a time, reduces the need for working again in previously completed work. So these are the advantages of parallel development. So let's see the disadvantages of parallel development. Subsystems are not usually independent, so changes in one subsystem can affect others. If we change one subsystem, then it can make effect, or it can create an effect to another system, because the subsystems are interrelated with each other. Then the second one is additional work to coordinate the integrate subsystems. That means at last we have to integrate those subsystems into one final system. The third one is decisions about design should take carefully for making subdivisions of the project. Now we will discuss about the next variation of waterfall development methodology, which is V-model methodology. So first we have to know that what is V-model development. The V-model is a type of SDLC model, means software development lifecycle model, where process executes in a sequential manner in V-shape. It is also known as verification and validation model. It is based on the association of a testing phase for each corresponding development stage. Development of each step directly associated with the testing phase. The next phase starts only after completion of the previous phase for each development activity. There is a testing activity corresponding to it. It will be clear more if we go to the diagram of V model. So here we can see the figure of the V model methodology. At first, the main theme of the V model is that V model provides means of testing of software at each stage in reverse manner. Means for each stage there is a testing stage. So here in left side, these are the verification stages which are going downwards, and at right side these are the validation stages which are going upwards. So the main theme of this system is that for each stage there is a distinct system for each stage. So after completing the verification, then the validation system will be executed. So at first the requirement analysis should be done, then system design, then architecture design, then model design, and after completing all these stages, then we will go to the implementation stage or coding stage. So these are the verification. Then for each stage we need a testing system. So the testing system is used for validation of the stages. So the first validation stage is unit coding, unit testing. It will check the module design. So unit testing is correlated with module design. That means unit testing will ensure that the modules are individually working well. Then the integration testing. So integration testing will ensure that the individual modules of the software are integrated with each other and they are working together with each other. So integration testing will ensure the architecture design. Then we'll go to the system testing. The system testing will ensure that the full system where all the modules are integrated is working well. And at last, the acceptance testing. It will ensure that the software is launched containing all the requirements of the clients. So let's see the advantages and disadvantages of view model. First, the advantage is it is a highly disciplined model and phases are completed one at a time. Then the second one is V model is used for small projects where project requirements are clear. The last one is simple and easy to understand and use. Let's see the disadvantages of V model. It remains high risk and uncertainty. It is not a good for complex and object-oriented projects. It is not suitable for projects where requirements are not clear and contains high risk of changing. This is the last slide of my project. So thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.